8:23 here, Big 550 KTRS. When before we left for Europe, we had our next guest on, Daniel Charles Brown, and we were talking about barns and reclaimed wood. And I guess your phones blew up, right?
Yeah, lots of emails, lots of phone calls.
So you are now our newest favorite guest because you've got reclaimed wood and everyone's into it. So we welcome you back to the show. First of all, tell us about the event Saturday night.
Okay, so it's actually Saturday morning. We're going to be meeting up at the Dubliner, 1025 Washington Avenue. We're going to do a photo meet. What we're going to do is meet up, walk downtown, get pictures of the architecture. You don't even have to have a professional grade phone. You can use your camera phone, or even if you just want to come out and walk with us and look at the architecture.
Right.
We'll be meeting there at 10 o'clock right in front of the Dubliner on Washington Avenue. Once we're done, we're going to go back to the Dubliner for some lunch.
Sounds like a good. And so you're going to look at the architecture and you're going to talk about it and what's this and what's that. And
yeah, I mean, there might even be some people who show up who know a lot more than I do. In fact, I'm kind of hoping about that. I'm hoping that happens. I'm more the photographer type.
Right.
So
people don't realize when downtown has got such a rich history of buildings and influential people who've walked by, and even people who haven't, like you walked by, where Dred Scott had his thing, and then you walk by where Stan Musial hit his home run, and where Lewis and Clark popped in, and Eads Bridge was built. I mean, there's just history all over the place.
We're going to be walking by all that, too.
Yeah, great. All right, good. So that's tomorrow in front of the Dubliner. What is that, Washington and Tucker right there?
Yep, it's actually Washington and 11th.
Washington and
1025 Washington Avenue is where the Dubliner's located.
10 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, tell us about, now you're an artist.
Yes, sir.
But you're also, you're not a traditional artist in the sense. Tell us your gig here.
Well, where I got started was salvaging old barnwood. I used to just buy a little bit at a time, but then I started realizing I wanted to start taking down the entire structures.
Right.
So that's what I've been doing the last couple of years. I've got 2 barns myself just stacked up in the warehouse. And, yeah, so...
But you take the things you find in these barns and you turn them into art.
Artwork, furniture, anything you can think of, we can turn it into that.
You're a reality show waiting to happen.
You really? I was thinking the same thing.
We should get him hooked up with Cool Fire.
I know.
So
we have some characters over there too. It'd be a fun show.
So now, but talk about barns in Missouri, because you drive down the highway, you drive down a street, and you see a barn leaning, and you think, oh my goodness, that's going to topple over. There's value in that barn.
There is value, and you want to get it before it actually falls over, because once it falls over, your value of that barn decreases by probably about 60 or 70% based on the amount of material that gets damaged after the fall.
Right.
A lot of people, they think when we salvage barns, all we do is just knock them over and just take whatever's good, but actually we dismantle it board by board. We take the nails out, we stack it, and then we turn it into beautiful pieces of art or furniture.
Yeah.
It's got to be so time-consuming, too.
It is. It's extremely time-consuming, but I love doing it. So
a lot of people think they can make $1 million off their old barn on their property. Not necessarily true, because taking it down costs a lot of money.
it does. It takes a lot of manpower. It takes a lot of money if you're not doing it yourself. Probably on the cheaper end on a regular barn, just a regular bank barn with just the regular type of roof, you're looking at $6,000 just to take it down.
Right.
And that's if someone's being nice to you.
Right.
Right. And that's the dismantle and everything.
And then you have to, it's labor intensive, because you have to take all the nails out of it, then you've got to store it, you've got to stack it, you got to clean it up, and all that type of stuff. That's very labor intensive.
It's extremely labor intensive.
But you can't get that reclaimed look any other way.
No, I've talked to a lot of people. They say that they can fake it. I've even challenged them to fake it, and they just can't do it. We can get close, but we can't fake that look.
What type of barns do you get in Missouri that you can't get anywhere else?
Okay, in Missouri, especially just the Midwestern area, are your bank barns. Those are the barns that you're really going to see out here. Those are the ones that have been built out of your strong oak, out of your Douglas fir, out of your pine. Pine and Douglas fir, they preserve fairly well, just because they're softwood, and as I said before, they absorb water a lot easier.
What do you mean by a bank barn? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Okay, well, a bank barn, traditionally, it's a lower level. On the lower level, it's a house livestock and draft animals such as horses.
Okay.
And then your top part is going to be where you store your hay,
or
you use it as a threshing floor, if you need to separate your grains from the actual stalks or whatever you're needing to do up there.
So it was an all-encompassing barn. It housed livestock as well as grain and feed and everything else.
Right, you did everything in it.
Do we have any idea how many of these barns are left?
I'm going to throw out just a basic estimate. Probably here in Missouri, we probably have maybe around 10,000 barns left, believe it or not. That's not standing beautifully preserved,
Right.
but that's probably about what we still have here in Missouri.
Yeah. This is quite a lot, considering.
lot.
It is. It
Yeah.
is a lot. A lot of these, probably a lot of folks who are listening right now have one in their backyard, and they're probably trying to figure out what to do with it before it falls over.
Right. And so, so you're here because we're sort of geeking out over what you do, and everybody loves it. And we wanted to plug your walk tomorrow, but. You would certainly, would you trade, like, hey, we'll give you some of the wood if you give us the barn? I mean, I'm sure you'd cut all sorts of deals like that for homeowners.
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
So if somebody calls you up and says, hey, I got a barn, Daniel, and give me some of the wood, and I'll give you the barn to take down, you'd cut deals like that all day long.
Yeah, I cut deals like that. I'll even make you an art piece out of your own barn wood.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah, it's really. And there is nothing better than saying, see that chair was made from a barn my great-grandfather made. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How old are some of these barns?
Some of these barns can date back to the Civil War, and probably the oldest one I've actually seen, it was French built, and we're talking late 1700s.
How when we talk about old-growth wood, which you can't get anymore, how long are some of these boards?
Some of these boards can get up to 25, 26 feet. I've even pulled posts out that are over 30 feet long.
Just one continuous
just
board?
one big hand-hewn tree. It's like they knocked it down, and they just took an axe and just squared it off and made that the big piece that goes all the way across the top.
Yeah, that's unheard of today.
Yeah, you won't find that.
Yeah.
You're not going to find a 30-foot hand-hewn log, especially old growth, something that was around 150 years ago.
Right.
And itself was probably already a 200-year-old tree.
Yeah.
So do people commission you to do work, or do you just see things and just do it on your own?
I do both. I do a lot of whatever inspires me, but we do have people who come down in the shop and they want accent pieces. Retail stores have brought me on. I even have work over at Vernon's Barbecue over there on Vernon Avenue in University City.
Sure.
I did some stuff with the old Busch Stadium seating.
Okay. Yeah. I tried to get my hands on the ash from the Arch grounds. They wouldn't give it to me.
They wouldn't?
They destroyed it all. They made it all mulch.
I've got something really interesting to tell you about downtown. Copia just did some restoration on their face, and they had hundreds of bricks just sitting there in a dumpster. And I live right across from Copia, so I just watch people just going in there and grabbing them and running off. I wish I had time to go down there. I watched one guy, I think he lives in the area. He walked by every 5 minutes with a handful of bricks. So I can't wait to see what he did.
Reclaim bricks as well as barns. All right, Daniel Charles Brown, tomorrow, 10:30 in front of the Dubliner. On Washington Avenue for the architectural tour. And then where's your shop and how do people get a hold of you?
3650 Market Street. All my contact information's at www.daniel-charles.com. You can get my email address, my phone number, anything. Also, all my links for social media. So follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm even on Pinterest.
Daniel, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, sir.
8:32, Big 550, KTRS.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Hardcat.